Douglas of HUSH News, reporting to you live from the Lincoln versus Douglas debate. I have the privilege of also being the moderator for this debate today. This is sure to be a very exciting day for myself and my news team, and members of both parties, possibly even better than unicorns, rainbows, and walks on the beach. So we are going to begin with the opening statements, and we had a flip of the coin, and Lincoln will begin the debate with his brief opening statement.
Thank you very much, Georgina, and thanks to all the audience and those who are out there. I appear before you today for the purpose of discussing the leading political topics which now agitate the public mind. We are now far into the 5th year since the policy was initiated with the avowed object and confident promise of putting an end to slavery agitation. Under the operation of that policy, the agitation has not only ceased, but has constantly augmented.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you think Mr. Douglas loves America as much as you do?
Oh, sure I do.
But who loves America more?
I prefer to get on my opening statement, Georgina.
If your love for America were 8 apples, how many apples would Senator Douglas's love be?
8.
Proceed.
In my opinion, slavery will not cease until a crisis shall have been reached and passed. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently half slave and half free.
Excuse me, did Elijah H. Johnson attend your church?
When I was a boy in Illinois 40 years ago, yes, I believe he was a deacon.
Are you aware that he regularly referred to Kentucky as a land of swine and whores?
That sounds about right. His ex-wife was from Kentucky.
Why did you remain at the church after hearing those statements?
I was 8.
This is an important question, Georgina. It is an issue that certainly will be raised in the fall.
Do you denounce him?
I'd like to get back to the divided house if I may.
Do you denounce and reject him?
If it will make you shut up, yes, I denounce and reject him.
Do you denounce and reject him with sugar on top?
Yes.
No takesies backsies?
Yes.
Whoa, so you would consider a take-seat backseat?
That's not what I meant.
When I was 11, my grandpappy and I chopped wood and shot bears.
I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall. But I do expect that slavery will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other.
Do you love America this much, or this much?
I think we covered this.
If I may interrupt.
Please, it hasn't stopped you before.
I noticed, Mr. Lincoln, that your American flag pin is upside down.
Yes, the wind caught it. Now, as I was saying,
we get questions like this all the time at our news station and on Dr. Phil. Mr. Douglas has said this is a major vulnerability for you in the fall. So I'll ask again, do you love America?
Yes.
If your love for America were ice cream, what flavor would it be?
Either the opponents of slavery will arrest the further spread of it, or its advocates will push it forward until it become alike lawful in all the states, old as well as new, north as well as south.
He didn't answer the question, Georgina. This fall, that question is going to be on the minds of the American public. I very proudly stated that my love for America is very, very strawberry.
Let me ask it another way. If Elijah H. Johnson were chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, would you eat it or would you decline it?
Personally, as for me, I would decline to eat it.
But anyone who has doubts carefully contemplate the now almost complete legal combination, piece of machinery so to speak, compounded of the Nebraska Doctrine and the Dred Scott decision.
We'll get to Dred Scott in the second hour, time willing. But I want to get back to the ice cream decision, and that's what we'll do after the break.
Man, I'm tired.
We've been telling you to get some sleep. Doesn't work at all, we'll help you sleep through the night.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to get addicted.
Come on, man. This stuff rocks. I fall asleep instantly, and when I wake up, all of my pizza dough is gone. Wait, is that a good thing?
When I took Doesn't Work at All, I ended up on the other end of the spaceship near the hatch, and I couldn't find my partner anywhere.
Anyway, don't listen to them. Doesn't Work at All is great. I sleep so well.
Yeah, you've been asleep for 150 years. Haha.
Hey, it was 143 years. And besides, doesn't that mean it works really well?
Yeah, we thought we'd finally gotten rid of you.
Well, I don't know.
At least you didn't buy a soda.
Hey man, don't worry about it. Just take the pill.
Count me! Count me!
Yeah, man, just take the pill.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should talk to my wife about this.
Take it! Take it! Take it! Take it! Woo! Yeah! Hey, I have to go back to the debate now. See you guys tomorrow. We'll hit up Oprah this time. Her conscience never lets her sleep.
I like to think of America as a giant pizza, a supreme pizza, with lots of sausage and pepperoni and onions and green peppers.
Maybe you should get some help.
From Doesn't Work at All!
And we're back to the Lincoln versus Douglas debate. In the last segment, we learned that Douglas is very patriotic about America with his choice of Very Berry Strawberry, and that Lincoln has declined to answer my questions. That probably doesn't even matter, seeing he believes in takesies backsies, as he so admitted to us earlier. Now, during the break, Mr. Lincoln made it clear to us that he will not speak on the ice cream decision anymore. Will you explain to them why?
I have nothing further to say on that subject, as it does not bear to the problems of the nation right now. Besides, I would like to make that flavor be whatever my supporters or opposers want it to be.
Come off it, man. Pick a gosh darn flavor.
Fine. Vanilla.
Couldn't have called that one Mr. Anti-Slavery.
Wait, what?
Moving on. Do you think Mr. Douglas has a higher opinion of the members of his party than you do?
I call them bitter because they are bitter. But the reasons they're bitter are based on irrational misconceptions. They, like slaves, half-slaves, and free slaves, are at an intellectual and moral disadvantage to those of us who see the world at a higher plane of understanding. In this, I agree with Mr. Douglas. They are not our equals in many respects, certainly not in educational accomplishments and SAT scores, and the financial earnings of those who have college and postgraduate degrees.
Forgive me for interrupting, but are you in agreement with Pastor Wrong, your spiritual confidant, who sermonized that no working-class Democrat should be allowed to vote in the primary unless they could prove that they never owned or sold a slave, or ever made any anti-abolitionist comments, or spent any recreational time in a bowling alley?
Let's be accurate, please. First, Reverend Wrong only suggested that these rule sticks should be applied to those voting in caucuses, not in primaries. And I am certainly distancing myself from his remarks.
Why? Because they're irrelevant at this point, since most of the caucus states have already voted?
Although I am not, nor have ever been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the college-educated and high school-educated or dropout classes, and though I am not in favor of making voters or jurors of those with an IQ lower than 120, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with professional people with advanced degrees, I, as much as any other recipient of corporate benevolence, am in favor of having a superior position assigned to privileged classes continue unabated. But that does not mean I'm in favor of restricting the bitter classes from voting, certainly not in the general election, where I'm sure they will reach high levels of lucidity in deciding which party to vote for.
Well, that was quite a mouthful, Mr. Lincoln. My supervisor has just informed me through my super stealth earpiece that our time is up. Thank you for watching and listening, America.
But wait, we haven't even debated yet.
In our next program, we will go undercover through the thick jungles of Alaska on a hunt for moose. This is Georgina Stephanopoulos of HUSH News, signing off. Tune in next time for another exciting adventure in the news.
Hello? Anyone home?